Welcome back to Science and Sorcerers, the show where we bring science to D&D. Now, this is the second episode of our campaign, so if you want to start from the beginning, click wherever on screen we have that link. So, Terrell, Midnight. In our first episode, you both got back with the hearts of the cosmic dreadnought. As you were starting to relax from that long journey, you didn't realize at first, but the heart was starting to beat. And there was a fleshy sack over top of it, and it exploded. It got all over you, Midnight. A little bit on you too, as well, Terrell. After you two were washing up and you got a lot of the grime off of you, the emissaries from Hope's patients showed up. You met Beatrix, the strong Goliath woman, dressed mostly in black, and Ketchup, the little goblin with the interesting diet. After you met them, worked a little bit, and you inspected the heart, you basically went through essentially Russian dolls of the heart going down and down and down until you saw and found its real size, which was about the size of the tip of your thumb. To make it less fragile and easily be able to carry it where you need to go, you decided to use the manipulator to make it big once more. However, when that happened, the heart did get big, but so did a little hitchhiking tardigrade who swelled up to the size of essentially a large dog or a mastiff. And Nox, who is probably the most standoffish on the group, was the only one able to befriend it, happened to be. And as all this was happening, this other comet came out of nowhere. Terrell, you saw it first and basically correctly identified this as, the people from the Star Brigade that were also after this heart. They came after you. You tried to get away, but you weren't able to quite do it and maneuver. Nox wasn't able to maneuver the ship away, so these three figures, cloaked in all black, 2 elves and 1 human, boarded your ship. You basically threw diplomacy out the door and pretty much immediately started to fight them. However, after a long battle, you killed the first 2. You did have a little bit of diplomacy with the last one, and befriended Granger, the tall, lanky half-elf who definitely didn't seem to be too happy in his last job and was more than okay, other than the goblin that tried to eat him, to defect, at least for now. But as this was all going on, you noticed this dark, black cloud of energy moving from far off in space. It started to go over near the sun, started to constrict the sun almost, basically fully covering it, other than this small, compared to the size of the sun, planet-sized hole where this beam of radiant energy shot out, narrowly missing Pi, the innermost planet of the system. As that hole of energy started to materialize again, that energy building up, you basically tried to zoom as far away from it as possible. You guys are currently on your comet. Nox is frantically writing those sigils in the air, trying to adjust the comet's trajectory as you are moving away as fast as possible from this, currently towards Vidalkar, the 4th planet of the system.
Nox!
What?
Go as fast as you can!
I'm trying. This is hard. Have you ever tried to do this under stress? The anxiety is too much.
Okay, so so do we know what's really like? Can I still see what's being aimed at it? Like if it's really being aimed at us, or like what's going on with it now?
Yeah, you can basically see. There's that film over top, and Nox has usually you can kind of only see in the first half of where the comet is going. But as this was going on, Nox was able to extend that back. So you basically have a full 360 view that you can see out. So yeah, if you just look back, it's easy to see that hole of radiant energy. It seems to kind of be following your ship as you are going away from it. So you can it's pretty easy. You don't even have to roll for it. It is to some degree aiming at you.
Alright, Nox, you need to make sure that you're moving in a weird pattern too, because if this thing hits us, we're done.
Like the zigzag pattern.
Yes, it's something like that.
Something to avoid it.
It's something inconsistent.
Okay.
Not a straight line.
Not a straight line.
Not
okay.
a straight line.
Zigzag, zigzag. Okay, I'll do my best. And so he starts kind of. He's actually just like tracing little like zigzag lines. He just puts his fingers out in front of him and just keeps tracing this line. This magical spectral sigils appear in the air as he's doing it, and you can feel and see as you look around you the comet is moving in a decent zigzag line.
I try to brace myself.
Okay, you brace yourself.
Yeah.
As you do, I want you both. Actually, that was perfect. I want you both to give me strength saving throws as this comet is like moving back and forth very viciously. But Terrell, you with advantage because you're bracing yourself.
I got a 14.
Nat 20.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so literally as this is happening, Terrell, you immediately just brace yourself. Probably the scientific station's probably the nearest thing by you, so you probably just like hold on to it. You barely even notice that the ship is moving around very viciously as you perfectly brace yourself. Midnight, you feel a bit of the effects. You steady yourself for a moment, but then you fall not prone, but kind of on your butt and slam a little bit into the ground.
Ooh.
You take 1 point, not a lot, but you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you notice that. Okay, both Ketchup and Beatrix are able to steady themselves as well. However, Granger, the half-elf there, gets a little bit freaked out. Ah! And he just trips kind of over his own 2 feet, smacks his head down on the floor, and he is currently unconscious, kind of ragdolling back and forth over the ship as this thing is moving around. Yeah, his body's just basically ragdolling.
Is this gonna be the end? We just gave him a second chance at life.
You can tell he's still very much conscious. He didn't really take a lot of damage from this, but it was enough to knock him out. So
Okay.
for, at least right now, he's still. You can tell he's alive. You can hear like kind of his breathing as he's moving past, because he probably goes by each one of you because he's literally going across the whole floor of this comet.
So with that Nat 20, can I like drag him down and hold him, or like if I can't, then I want to try it. But
We'll say with that nat 20, yeah, you can kind of easily kind of secure him underneath the scientific station if you'd like to.
yeah, that's good. I want something like that.
Okay, so you kind of secure him a little bit so he's not ragdolling as much anymore.
Right.
While that's happening, Beatrix comes over to you. Midnight, are you kind of around that same area?
Yeah.
Okay, so Beatrix comes over to both of you. Why, that was really quite the doozy. And she puts her hands out to both of you. I don't know how much this affected you, but I should have done this before. This blast of dark, almost static-like energy falls over you. It feels very odd at first, but then it feels invigorating. Yeah, I'm assuming that 30 would put you guys both back up to full.
Whoa.
No, not just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys both regain 30 hit points, and you're now back up to full.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. Where was this earlier? I feel amazing.
I can't do it that often, but when I can, it's a big help. And then she reaches under the table. That's actually where the heart is currently. It was also stationed underneath the table. Knox, before he started to commandeer the ship, he actually fastened it in a bit. Beatrix goes over to it, and she starts moving her hands around, and that's in a very similar way to Knox in these, very specific sigils. And this dark, almost spider web of energy completely covers the heart. But you can still see through little slits. The spider web is semi-translucent, so you can still see the heart is not only still beating underneath, but actually gets a little bit even more flush with life. As you can tell that she kind of put some type of protective spell over top this heart to help keep it safe from all the stuff that's going on.
Smart decision.
Yeah. Yes, she didn't do that for us though.
Especially not Granger.
Especially not Granger. He's knocked out.
I can't really do it that often, but I think this is at least more important than the That one. She kind of like points to Granger right now.
Yeah, very much agree.
I mean, sure. Okay.
So as this is happening, the ship is still in that zigzag pattern. I'm not gonna have you roll again. You guys are keeping yourself steady enough, but you're noticing that you are having to keep yourself steady as this is moving back and forth. You start to see, that radiant energy off by the sun start to build up more and more. As this is happening, Beatrix goes and starts looking somewhat at the sun, but almost more at the dark cloud of energy surrounding it, because it's not just surrounding the sun itself, but starting to kind of go off into tentacle-like patterns just off into random points in space. So she's just kind of, you can see that her eyes is tracing all of it and just watching it. At first, her eyes show disbelief. Then after a bit, there's almost this strange knowing that goes over her face, this very solid, stern, almost anger.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
Yes. So I'm gonna try to persuade her into doing
Okay.
that. Yeah. So
Persuade her into what?
into just like
ask?
telling us like what,
Yeah.
like what's going on. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Roll persuasion.
All right. Nat 20.
Wow.
Right?
You were doing amazing.
Yeah.
Great job, my friend.
Thank you.
So yeah, she actually rolled pretty high, but that does it. So she just kind of looks at you. Well, doesn't really look at you, kind of just like says to the side, I think I know what this is. I think this is some strong void magic. I think it might even be the Void Keeper himself, if I know correctly. And as she says that, she looks at the both of you. Will you do me a favour and just look after Ketchup for a second, will you?
What?
Who's the Void Keeper?
Can you give us a little bit more?
All in due time. This needs to happen very quickly. Just look after him for me, will you? I should be back soon.
All right.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I'll be right back. I need to talk to him. And then she just looks to Ketchup. All right, little guy. I promise I'll be back soon. All right? He looks up at her. All right, babe. You got this. Go get him. And then Beatrix just looks straight on, very, very stern face, and her eyes fold over into this black darkness. Her mouth starts to move. Give me insight rolls to see if you can kind of read her lips. But Terrell with advantage, because you just were able to have that kind of connection with her.
Nat 20.
Oh my god.
Nothing's
Wow.
a secret today.
16.
Okay, so Terrell, I'm just going to say this kind of once. You have this general gist of what's going on, Terrell, but Midnight, you know this perfectly. I'm kind of going to say it in her voice. What are you doing here? Kind of pauses for a minute. Hey, that can't be. That's not like you. Come on. And then, look, just hear me out. This thing could help people. We don't need to do that. And she just cuts off. Her hands with that last motion actually do go up. In the beginning, her whole body was very still. But on that last bit, her arms did go up as mine did. This dark spider web of energy comes from her eyes, goes down her entire body, almost basically petrifying her. And you can see it's a very similar spider web to what covered the heart. But what covered the heart, you could still, it was semi-transparent, and you could kind of see that flush of life underneath. Underneath the web that's covering over Beatrix, her body is extremely pale. Even the black of her armor and the black of kind of this clothing that she was wearing almost turns gray. Just is almost the life, the color, if you would, is being sucked out of her, and she is currently motionless.
I'm gonna reach up and try to touch her and say, like, Beatrix, are you all right? But I feel like I just did her voice. Beatrix, are you all right?
I'm going to stare at this and see if I know anything about it and be like, what just happened?
Roll me an Arcana, Terrell. And Midnight, that actually makes sense that you would kind of, if you're really worried about someone, you would kind of adopt their language a little bit. What'd you get, Terrell?
10.
Okay, you know enough about what's happening to her that it seems to almost be like her own magic is being used as a source to control her. But beyond that, you don't really know. Midnight. So as you're trying to just roll me persuasion just to see how you're doing with this.
Hoo-hoo! 29.
Okay. It's because of what's going on. It's still very hard to do this. So as you're trying to like shake her, Beatrix, you can easily tell your persuasion can't even work. She is outside of the realm of being able to hear you, understand you. You can read people enough to know, whether your words are working on them or not. No facial expression, nothing. You do see Ketchup though. Hey, babe, what you doing there? That's not the. Hey, come on. He kind of just nervously grabs one of the little cat paws from a belt and just nervously starts to eat it, chew through it. You see little animal parts. He gets very scared. It's probably the first time you see anything but this weird jolly grin on his face, but still very mouth wide open. And all of a sudden, the little bits of animal parts that were going on his face start to slow, almost as if they're still moving through the air. You look around you. Knox, who is quickly moving his hands about, is barely even moving them. The sigils almost not changing. Everything starts to slow. Then everything starts to become almost translucent, as you can see through the ground, the floor of this comet, the walls of this comet, almost as if everything was like the film above. You can see the space around you. This golden, almost ocean starts to go up to your ankles. Moving around in it, you get this sense, almost like when it's about to rain and you get that kind of pungent odor in the air. You almost smell that. You hear rain, but you don't see any rain. You look out forward, about 60 feet away from both of you. There's this tall, dark, looming figure, very androgynous, and almost completely covered in shadows that you can't really see anything underneath it. And it's beyond the wall of your comet, but you can see through it and still see it as he's somewhat slowly walking towards you, his hand out. There they are.
Are you seeing this?
You mean tall, dark, and scary over there?
Yeah.
Yes, I am seeing him. Who are you?
Very much here.
I see you, yes.
Oh, he can hear us. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Easily.
What
did you ask me?
Who are you?
None of your business.
I mean, what do you want from us then?
I want the heart.
Well, you should at least start with your name.
Roll persuasion.
How's a 19 work for you?
You get no name.
Well, you get no heart.
I don't really quite care whether we get the heart or not. It's not me who wants it.
Who wants it? If it's not you.
Everything that is not me wants this heart. And it's hungry for that power.
This guy's not making any sense.
Will you give it up freely?
Unfortunately, we actually don't have it anymore. See that big fella over there? I point to the tardigrade.
Okay.
And I say, as soon as that thing got kind of big, it ate it.
And it just gives you a little strange eye. Only deception.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, 13.
I sincerely doubt that.
It happened. I mean, I was just as surprised as you are.
Yes, it just got smaller and smaller, and he got bigger and bigger, and then boom, he ate it.
Well, both of you are fun. I hope you survive.
Oh, thank you. Wait, what?
As the vision just starts to fade away, slowly you see the animal parts return to their very swift movement through the air. As Ketchup's just eating basically like corn on the cob. You see Knox once again moving his hands very vigorously back and forth through the air, almost his muscles flexing, just the tension he's kind of holding in his shoulders. Beatrix is still very much in that dark spiderweb state, and the golden sea fades away below you, and everything is no longer slightly transparent, as if nothing changed.
Knox,
What? What do you want?
did time just stop for you too? Like, did you see any of that?
This is not the time for some weird flattery. Come on, we're trying to get somewhere.
Time literally just stopped. What's going on? Someone just threatened us.
I don't think he knows. I think it's better for you to go as fast as you can. I know you are, but go a little faster if you can.
Oh, okay, I'll try my best. You guys are acting very strange right now. And he starts, you see energy start to come off of him in these dark tentacle-like wisps. You can tell that he's using it. He's just putting all that he can into the ship. It's starting to accelerate more and more as he's basically giving it magical propulsion. But that circle of radiant energy is starting to come up once more, and it shoots out this bolt of radiant, just thick. It's much smaller now. It's not even that much bigger than the size of your ship. As you can see it as it's coming, that it funnels down to a very direct, pure bolt of just radiant destruction.
That's a great band name.
Radiant
Destruction.
Just throwing it out there.
There we go. And you use radiant energy, Terrell, so there you go.
Yeah, I can just absorb it.
So as this shot of radiant energy, it just barely grazes your ship, Nox is able to somewhat seamlessly move the ship out of the way, but it still does cut a bit into one of the side walls, and this hole, about 1 foot in radius, pretty circular. This hole, you immediately see the outside space around you, but before anything can affect on either side, this film, this very gray, sparkling barrier covers over top of it. Lux goes, "Cover it quick, that's not going to last long."
Cover with what?
I have no idea, figure it out.
The ship. Let's get the ship. Let's grab the ship and move that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Can
gonna
you
lift the
lift
canoe.
it? It's pure gold.
I mean, no. I can't.
I'm definitely too weak.
Oh.
Our
I'll try to help
strongest
you out.
lady.
I'll try to help you out, I guess.
Alright.
As Granger's still...
You two grab that end.
Granger's still out.
Granger's still out, yeah.
All right, so yeah, everyone roll me athletics checks.
6.
3.
We're gonna die.
All right, so you two barely are able to. You guys go on one side. The little goblin goes on the other side.
No.
You two are barely able to lift this from the floor.
No.
This small goblin is able to, in this fluster of energy, you can tell he's like looking to Beatrix. There's this fear in his eye that's immediately covered over in, I need to make this work. He picks it up almost seamlessly and just charges forward. You guys barely even have to help him as it just goes into the wall. And this golden canoe fits almost rather perfectly. Just the front of it, though. The full thing would be too much. Into this hole and covers it up just as the film fades away.
So is it like, if here's the hole, is it like through it like that, or is
Yes.
it like against
Yeah,
it?
it's like through it like this. So this is the wall. The canoe is like about 2 feet up from the ground, but still horizontal.
Man, that fight or flight's response though.
Right?
For real.
You do look though immediately, and Ketchup's hands are extremely bloody. Like you can tell it was pure adrenaline that was able to pick this up. He is weaker than both of you by far, and it was pure adrenaline that must have been able to allow him to do this. He just goes, "Is it weird that I'm kind of hungry?" As he looks at the blood on his hands.
Ketchup, no.
It is weird. It's very weird. It's very weird.
All right, I'll just give that to myself next time.
Nox, go, go, go! We don't want another one.
We don't want another one.
So you're zooming more and more towards Vidalcar, the golden planet. That's the nearest one towards you. Nox is writing those sigils in the air, trying to get you there as fast as possible. Both give me strength saving throws.
Our greatest stat again. Ooh!
Oh.
A natural 20.
Oh, wow, okay.
Where was that 5 seconds ago?
5.
Okay. So as midnight, you're able to catch yourself. You were closer. As soon as this ended, you were still right by the canoe, and you're able to grab it and steady yourself. Terrell, you were slightly walking away as you were going to tell Nox kind of to hurry it up and everything, and you immediately just kind of fall down face first onto the ground. Not too shabby again. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
As you just face plant right into the ground, and are currently prone. And as all this is happening, I'll give you a second when you can react to that. But at the same time, these vials start to shake on the scientific station. There's a bunch of different ones of all various colors. But 5 in particular, you both. Well, Midnight, you mainly see him. Terrell, you're probably too focused with your face
on the ground.
Yeah, so you don't see this actually, Terrell. But Midnight, especially with that roll of able to steady yourself, your mind is still there, and you can watch as these vials are starting to go past the manipulator, as the manipulator is just firing off with shots of energy. As ever since this beam of radiant energy went through your ship, the magic in the ship is going haywire. Even the whole ship in of itself seems to kind of lose propulsion for a moment before it, juts up again. Still moving, obviously, but the acceleration is temporarily gone. As this is happening, Midnight, you notice 5 liquids of note. One seems to be this gurgling vial of water. Another one is this pristine-looking feather that's just suspended in air and swirling around in it. You see this another vial of molten lava, then another one that looks like silvery oil, and a final one that looks like just speckled ash, maybe like from a campfire or something. You watch these start to move around. Pretty much all of these vials, including these random various other ones of different colors and consistencies, are all just going towards the manipulator.
Do I have any time, since I was by the scientific station,
Yeah.
do I have any time to try to, grab one?
I would say that you do have time to attempt to grab one.
Okay.
Can I stand up?
Yeah, you can stand up, but that's going to basically, going down and standing up is going to basically, be your turn for, right now.
Okay.
All right, what would the roll be?
Okay. Well, which one are you going after, first of all? You had that gurgling vial of water. You had that feather swirling around in air, a molten lava vial, one of silvery oil, and another one of just campfire ashes.
I feel like the molten lava sounds the most dangerous.
Okay, fair enough.
Technically, I can't see this, but I agree.
Essentially, we're going to count this as basically sleight of hand to see how quickly you can go over. You're not trying to be stealthy, but it's still very quick. So give me a sleight of hand check.
23.
You perfectly, as essentially in a movie where there's an earthquake or something, and the bookshelf happens and all these vials are basically going into the manipulator. You perfectly are able, just that one though, but you're perfectly able to grab that vial of molten lava. As these other vials go into it, and at this point you can see Terrell, as this is happening, the one of silvery oil just kind of misses. It is the only one out of these ones that has a cap on it. And it just kind of rolls underneath the scientific station. Doesn't really seem to do anything, the silvery oil. However, the gurgling vial of water, as soon as it hits it, this beam, the beam of the manipulator shoots down into the gurgling vial of water, starts to spread it. This giant, essentially looks like a water elemental, forms right by the scientific station. You also see as the feather swirling in the air hits it, The feather itself doesn't change in size, but the air swirling around it seems to break the vial into what looks like now an air elemental with the feather still moving around inside of it. And finally, that vial of ashes that goes into and hits the beam of the manipulator shoots out on the exact opposite end of the comet spaceship that you're on. And this, as you see the ash, starts to, almost all of it seems to get destroyed in the beam, except for this small white silvery flecks that form into this metallic looking golem, almost basically an earth elemental at the opposite end of this comet. I want you to roll me initiatives.
Oh.
Yay. Oh no, why? No.
Oh my god, did we both get ones?
Yes.
Wow, killing it.
So what are we working with over there, Midnight?
A
Not your
4.
initiative. What are you working with over there?
Oh. 3450.
Just
We're
to get
using a battle map.
Yes, just to get our battle map up. Great. All right, so now I can look at your initiatives. Let me input that. Okay, so what is your initiative, Terrell?
4.
Okay, got it. 4. Cool. Midnight?
4.
Okay.
Hold on, can
4.
I first, before we get into this?
I'll maybe give you a slight thing. What do you want to do?
I feel like I go hold up for a second. Maybe they're nice.
Oh.
Yeah, you can
This
certainly
time.
do that. Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Well, I like animals, and they kind of.
They're nothing like animals.
Well,
But give it a shot. It's all on
doesn't
you.
look like a person. And people tend to be the worst, right?
Humanoid-esque, I guess.
Oh.
You
Maybe
do know
they're
that some
random.
elementals can be sentient. What the way that these were made, you don't really know, but some of them can be sentient. You do know that some of them can kind of talk. Though they're usually restricted in what they can say and what they can do. So as this is happening, we are going to start, and it is currently the air elemental's turn. It is going to go down. You guys are both by the scientific station, so let me move you guys over there. And currently, let's catch up, sorry. Midnight and Terrell, and we're going to have catch up be over here for now. So the air elemental is going to move down and is going to try to attack the first thing that it can see, which is you, Midnight. So it's going to get right up by you. You feel this gust of wind almost slicing up against you as this thing is going to try to make an attack at you with this fist of swirling, this gust of wind almost. Okay, that is a 27 to hit.
Oh.
That's definitely going to hit. Not a lot of damage. You take... Wow. Yeah, okay. You take 7 points of damage.
All right.
As the wind just kind of cuts over your body, these small lacerations get cut into your skin. As you got off a little easy, you could tell. That is going to now going to be Ketchup's turn. He is
Somebody
going.
Can go.
What?
Somebody can go between them.
It is going to be Ketchup's turn. He's going to see what happens. He is going to move near the middle, but about as close as he can get, using his full movement to get over. And now he's going to pick a knife out of his belt, and seeing the air elemental attack you, Midnight, he's going to throw a dagger at it. And he is definitely going to hit it. You see, he kind of looks to you for a second, Midnight, seeing his friend near this elemental. You can tell he's able to put more force into this attack.
I know, right?
And wow, he does a very big hit onto the air elemental. You can see it start to kind of break down. Some of the wind stop swirling around as much before it kind of almost ignites again like a spark. It's funny to say that for air, but it's basically what happens is it starts to swirling around even more fervently as it seems angry, but definitely injured.
Wow, with a knife?
With a knife.
Just one, though.
Just one.
Wow.
Wow. He's going to use kind of the rest of it. You see him kind of bunker down because he's in the middle right by that, like kind of the hole where the water is, or was, I should say. Kind of bunkered down and basically ready himself right as the earth elemental, which the water elemental, looks like how a water elemental should look. Other than the feather swirling around in the air elemental, it looks about normal. The earth elemental looks very different. Rather than being very rocky, it looks extremely metallic. Both give me nature rolls as this thing is coming over.
Oh, okay. 21.
18.
Okay. So you can both correctly tell that this is potassium. That this earth elemental is made out of potassium.
Oh.
And you could probably know that, but
Oh,
potassium specifically, it is found, I believe, it is found as like potassium carbonate, is very, very common in wood ash. So it basically kind of took the potassium out of that ash and kind of made this earth elemental purely out of potassium. It is going to get up right near Ketchup, just barely reaches Ketchup. It's going to try to slam down with its fist on the little guy. You roll for the attacks first. And it does, so that does a hit. He just bashes down into Ketchup. Ketchup is able to kind of move out of the way. You can tell him he's able to kind of dodge a little bit, so he doesn't take the full blunt of the attack. But he definitely takes a good hit from this rocky, metallic fist that just goes down and smashes. Being the water elemental's turn now, it just kind of lets out this cry.
Okay.
Can I understand it? Was it speaking Aquian?
So Terrell, you can understand this. Midnight, yes, this was Aquian. This is a very basic form of Aquian. It basically just said, "What's going on?" and followed by, which is basically, "My tummy hurts." It's a very basic. It's a basic form of Aquian. So anyone can learn.
Is this a child?
Anyone can learn Aquian, but only creatures and beings that are very aquatic in nature can actually give like the inflections. So it's speaking a very, very basic, pure form of Aquian. But yeah, you can understand it.
You don't even have to talk back to it, right?
Oh no. Okay. Well, do I have to wait until my turn to talk to it?
It's basically spending its whole turn like going like, "What's going on?" And it kind of tries to like get under the scientific workstation, but isn't really like able to, and it's just kind of spending its whole turn moving around in a bit of a circle, not really going anywhere, a bit flabbergasted. But talking is a free action. To really affect something, it's not. So if you're trying to persuade it or something, you'll have to wait till your turn, but you can try to talk to it as a free action. And also, Terrell, it's your turn.
Oh, it's our turn.
Yes.
Do I?
Yeah, it's both of your turn. I forgot about that.
Do I have to do?
You, if you want to, you go for it.
Do whatever you want.
All right, I'm gonna go. Wow, alright. That's enough of that.
So what are you saying in Aquian?
So in Aquian, I said, "Who are you?" I don't know if I can have a conversation with it, but...
Like a little tiny bit, in
right.
6 seconds you can get quite a bit across.
So who are you?
It just goes... Would you hear, "My name's Shelly.
Aww.
What's going on?"
I'm gonna have to wait until my turn, which is now.
So Shelly the water elemental.
Okay.
But yeah, it's both of your turns. And you, I believe, can see, right, where everything is.
Yes.
Okay, so everything is in pretty close corridors at the moment. You both notice now, though, especially that potassium elemental is close to you. You notice that just the air around it is already started to tarnish it. Basically, oxidization is going on right now as the air around it is just starting to tarnish it and basically break it down.
Oxidization.
Oxidization. That is a new word for today.
Yes.
Science term.
Right.
It's a new science term.
Right.
But yeah, just the air around it is already starting to break it down to some degree. But yeah, Terrell Midnight, you're up.
I'm just gonna say that huge earth elemental cannot touch that water one. We're gonna be in a lot of trouble if it does.
Why is that?
'Cause it's potassium, water and potassium goes boom, everything explodes, and that's a lot of potassium, and that's a lot of water.
You probably didn't know that at first, Midnight, but now that he said that, you probably remember that you did write down somewhere in your book, yeah, don't put potassium by water.
And I feel like I probably wrote a little extra note that said, like, beware of bananas.
Beware of it.
Yes. Very cool. But yeah, what are you two doing?
So was that trying to speak? Did it say things?
Don't attack it. I think it's all right.
Okay.
I told you they're kind of friendly, except for that one.
And that
And I
one
point
too.
to the one that
Attacked you?
Attacked me. Yeah.
Yeah, the air elemental.
I'm going to have to leave you on your own now.
What?
With the water one and the air one, I gotta stop the big one.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
I thought he was just leaving.
He just leave.
No, I can go out into that game of space. I'll be fine.
Yeah, you just get sucked out.
You
Bye,
take out the canoe and like, woo!
Bye guys. No.
Wow, what an exit.
Yeah.
Right. No. So how close am I to the air elemental?
The air elemental, you are about both the air elemental and the water elemental. You are about 10 feet away from.
Okay.
You are about 20 feet away from the earth elemental.
All right. Well, do you have anything that you got right now? Because I got some stuff.
Go for it.
All right, let's do it. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna go. All right. So you're gonna use my bonus action to just do what's it called? I already forgot what it was called. Light speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just immediately dash up to the earth elemental.
Yep.
All right. So you go right up in its face, and you get that bonus action, that attack at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, that's good. It wasn't. Oh, okay.
Oh.
What'd you get?
I got a 7, but the second time I got a 20.
Oh no!
I know.
So yeah, you come up and with your light speed, you kind of trip a bit. A bit of the water from the water elemental was around where you were. It kind of splurted up a bit as it was talking, and it just tripped you up just enough that you actually aren't even able to try to make a punch with that, as you have to kind of use that movement to just kind of steady yourself rather than actually try to go after it. But now you have your action.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna punch him as much as I can.
Okay, punch him.
All right. All right. That one missed. It was an 8.
Yep, that miss. So this time you do kind of get a punch
Yes.
on it, but that astral energy just kind of fades out for a second, and you just don't really connect.
Second one's unnatural 20.
Yes, I mean that hits, my friend. Go for it.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. Where is it? There you are. Hello. Yes. Max damage at
Whoa.
13.
Ooh.
13.
Yeah.
So because of that 20.
Oh, it's not it's unnatural 20.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
A little less
understood.
cool.
A little
Gotcha.
less cool. That would have
Okay.
been great. 26
Yeah.
damage. Ooh.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, 13 damage on this thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Can I still do Cosmic Storm?
Um.
Because just make it sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use Cosmic Storm.
All right. So I'm just gonna ignite Cosmic Storm just to make sure I'm good. So that
Okay.
add one more AC to me.
Okay, so yeah, so you kind of ignite Cosmic Storm at the end of this. You get that bonus to your AC, and you become a little bit easier to make critical hits on this thing.
All right.
Yeah, and so as you were going to punch it before the Cosmic Storm kind of ignited around you, that swirling energy, the potassium elemental it has very thick plating on its shoulders.
Mhm.
It tries to kind of go down and block your fist with its plating, but you literally go through the plating, go through essentially what's like this elemental shoulder joint, and one of its arms just kind of breaks off and falls clunk, clunk, to the floor right by you.
Oof.
You've got a big hit on this guy.
Oh. All right.
Midnight, you're up.
Alright, so the first thing I do is in Aquien.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do the math thing. In Aquien, I tell the water elemental, like, get as far away from that big rock thing as you can.
It basically goes off and it's trying to like tell you like there's really nowhere to go. Because
Well,
like
behind somewhere, I say in Aquien. Alright, so after that great conversation, I'm going to look at the air elemental that is right by me.
yes.
I'm going to give it a very angry look, and I'm going to say, I wrote it down.
Come on, Bard.
You think you can hurt me, but you cannot. I will kill you and leave you to rot.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Ooh.
Nice. What
Spicy.
does it have to make?
It has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Here we go. 10.
Oh,
So it
yay!
fails. So
It
you get
failed.
max damage on it.
Amazing.
Make it hurt.
5. What? So that's 11.
11 damage.
Yes.
Okay, Midnight. How do you want this thing to
Yes.
die?
Yes.
With your dissonant like little poem you did there.
So I want it to kind of like, since it's basically like a ball of wind that's like moving around.
And there's that feather in it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to like, I don't know, like turn into kind of like a little mini tornado.
Okay.
And then just like suddenly like drop as the feather like floats down.
Okay, so as you say that like dissonant whispers, this air elemental just like lets out this kind of like wisp of just like torrential like rain sounds, like kind of like this gust of like wind that goes through a storm, and it goes up into that like pillar of a tornado and then just bashes down as the feather just slightly floats to the floor of this comet. You notice it still has a little bit of wind around it as the feather just is kind of essentially floating around the floor now, almost like ice skating a little bit.
Can I grab it potentially? Like, can I use my bonus action to pick it up? And,
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pick it up because I don't want it to get close to the manipulator again.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of, if you can turn that off, that'd be great.
Yeah. You know.
Maybe use Harry or.
Well, what's
When
he gonna do?
To turn it off, you gotta turn it off.
Can I send Harry to do something?
I mean, you can, but he's going to be operating on what you tell him to do, and you don't necessarily know what to do.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna
you can
leave. No.
Okay. So yeah, that's your turn. Basically, Nox is spending all that he can do just to kind of keep this ship from losing all of its magical energy. So that's going to be his turn. We bring it back up to the top of the round. It is the air elemental's turn,
No.
which is dead. I'm going through initiatives. Air elemental is dead.
I was like, oh.
The air elemental comes back
It's
midnight and kills you
in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a miniature one now.
You've become an air elemental.
So Ketchup, you can basically tell that he does a little like flourish with his feet, essentially disengaging from the potassium elemental. Runs, can you get there? Yeah, he can just get underneath the table, actually right under the manipulator. Not directly under it where he can like hit him, but like underneath the table where the manipulator is. And he's going to throw a knife, another blade, from his belt at the potassium elemental. That is going to hit.
Yes.
And you can tell that he kind of gets that spark in his eye as he watches Terrell, his friend, right near it. He's able to kind of get this better volley with his knife.
Too?
Yeah,
He likes it.
he likes you guys. With that, he does a pretty good hit on the rock elemental. It kind of goes essentially like where its kneecap would be. And it seems to like not really move around. The leg doesn't break off. It wasn't that good of a hit, but it's kind of just like with like a lazy leg almost, not really able to move it as much, as he got a pretty decent hit on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is now the Earth Elemental's turn. It is going to try to make an attack at you, Terrell.
Come on then.
Good. Okay. Plus that is going to be a 21.
Wow, you just barely hit me.
It just got you. Okay.
Yeah, you just got me.
All right. So this thing is just going to rear up with its fist and is going to kind of crunch down on you. A bit of your cosmic storm is able to take it so that it doesn't get a great hit on you, essentially. But yeah, it breaks through this a little patch in the storm, goes down to essentially the eye of the storm, which is you. It tries to pummel you.
Oh, great.
Okay, that is going to be 20 damage as it got a really great hit on you and is trying to basically crunch you down. You actually go down a few inches into the floor of the comet itself before you kind of get back out and steady yourself right by it.
Okay.
That is its turn, though.
All right.
Ouch.
Yeah, of course. There's always
actually,
happens.
it is going to try and move around you, Terrell, and it is going to go a little bit, not fully towards the water elemental, but is going to go just outside of your reach, which means you get an attack of opportunity, my friend.
Let's do it. Forget it.
What'd you get?
I got an 8.
Okay, so yeah, as it's moving around you, it's this kind of flavor. It's not even really leaving your range, and you try to punch it and just blocks it with its other shoulder that is still intact.
Yeah.
But now you both see this water elemental, which is trying to kind of hide underneath the scientific station, is now getting pretty close to this potassium elemental. You see essentially this there's just reactions going between the two of them. Almost like this electricity is what it looks like basically between these two things. These bolts of almost lightning is kind of going back and forth between the two of them. You can tell this is a very volatile mix, which is now the water elemental's turn, and it basically goes,
Okay.
do I hide or do I try to run away?
I don't know what it's saying.
Okay.
God, it's so dumb. I'm glad this is one of my languages. I
One of your languages,
throughout
yeah.
the entire campaign.
There we go. So at this point, the water elemental is going to try to do as much as it can to get out of there. It's going to go right up by you, Midnight. It's going to be kind of barreling through. So I want you to give me a dex saving throw as it's trying to come through, because there's basically no shot out of
Nat
this.
20!
Oh, so nat 20, so you're able to quickly move out of the way. I won't even say you take half damage with that, as this kind of swirling,
Nice.
essentially a hurricane is moving past you as fast as it can possibly go. It gets a little bit of the waves away, kind of uses its full movement. That is currently off there dead, so we'll move that out of the way. And it is, so it is, that was its turn. It's back to Terrell/Midnight.
Alright, I'm very angry at this potassium elemental right now.
Okay.
So, I'm going to chase after him.
Okay.
And
It's about 5 feet away from you at this point.
yeah, that's fine. I want to try to put myself in between me and the water
Okay, so you kind of orbit it basically and kind of get between it
in the water
and
elemental.
the water elemental. Got it. All right, perfect.
So, I'm going to attack. But with
Okay.
this first attack, it's going to be Meteor Smash, sorry.
Okay, remember you have to hit with an attack to use Meteor Smash?
Right, I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a second attack.
Okay,
So I
you got a
got
second
5. I got that was a 7.
Okay, so your first attack misses
22.
22, so that hits.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, all right.
Roll damage, my friend.
Oh, wow.
What?
I'm using Meteor Smash for the first one, so I'm not going to do that. How does 11 work for you?
11 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as you kind of rear back, this time the astral energy goes around your fist once more, and it tries to block again with its other shoulder. Second verse, same as the first, you break the shoulder, you break the joint below it, and its other arm just kind of falls to the ground. It's currently has a bit of a limp, and it's missing its arms, but it's still up. And that is going to bring us... Is that your turn?
That's it. That's all I can do.
Okay.
So,
It's your turn, Midnight.
Alright. Well, seeing as how Terrell is right next to it, I do not want to use a ranged attack like I was hoping to. So instead...
You can use a ranged attack.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
either
yeah, because
way.
I can, like, put the
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just don't at me.
Well, not sure if this is a great idea, but hold on, I'm gonna roll to see if she's too dumb.
Is this an area of effect? Is that what you're trying to say? If it's
Oh,
ranged...
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean ranged, I meant
Yes,
area of effect.
area effect, because they're in such close proximity, there is going to be a roll to see if
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
Terrell.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Then I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I mean,
Um,
I should be fine.
no.
Shatter works really well against big guys.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use Shatter.
Alright.
Okay, you shatter.
And I'm gonna say, Terrell, try to step out of the way. Oh, wait. Hold on, is Bardic Inspiration a bonus action?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, and I get to say one of my things. Okay.
Alright.
So,
Okay.
I'm kind of close to you, so I'm gonna say things aren't going quite right. So here's a little help from midnight. Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, alright. I get inspiration.
Yes, I believe yours is a D8.
Let us check. It is a D8.
Yes. So you can add D8 to like a saving throw, an attack roll, or an ability check.
Alright.
Like dodging out of the way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cast Shatter, and since it's like a 10-foot radius sphere, I'm gonna do it like farther out, so that it's like he's not actually in the area of effect.
Okay, so I'm going to have a roll with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a note here that
Because it's
stone,
made out of-
crystal,
yeah.
or metal creatures, and potassium is a metal, right?
Yes, it is an alkaline
Amazing.
metal.
I remember my periodic table.
So it's going to be at disadvantage.
Yes.
So, and Terrell, you're going to be rolling on this as well. So yeah, what
Oh wait,
what
I
are
don't
they
have
rolling?
to roll.
Yeah, what are they rolling midnight?
They make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, so you two, Terrell, and you can use your bardic inspiration if you so please. Wow. Okay.
Do you need it?
I don't need it.
I'm sorry. Constitution saving throw, you said?
Yes.
Okay, so it got a natural 15. Let's see what its plus is. 20. Unnatural
On
20.
disadvantage.
On disadvantage. The other roll was it rolled an 14 and an 18.
Well,
It's
Well,
a
it
plus
takes
5 to
half
con.
damage. So.
Okay.
I got a 22.
What kind of damage is that?
Thunder damage.
It does not take half damage. It is vulnerable to thunder. So it takes normal damage. It would have taken double damage if it had failed it.
Shame. That's okay. I'm still pleased.
Yeah,
Do
we'll
you
share
take
it.
half damage?
I do, because I got a 20.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? That's great.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I'm sorry.
You got
you
a
took
20?
any.
I got an unnatural 20.
Then you take no damage.
Yeah,
so
I take no
basically,
damage.
You were outside of the range of it, so I was basically, if you failed, you would have halved. If you succeeded, you would take none. Because we kind of did that.
Ooh, okay,
To be a
so
little
2
bit more
max
fair
and
to you.
then a
All
min.
right.
I got 2 max and a min for my rolls, so
All right.
that is 17.
17?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not halved, it's going to be that because it's vulnerable to thunder.
Incredible.
It is looking
Oh my God.
extremely rough. Let me add that up. So yeah, that is...
It's
Does
not
that
dead yet.
do anything to it? Like, does shatter cause it to shatter?
If it killed it, I would say so, but also with it being vulnerable to it, though you centered it in such a way, the shatter, that it actually did fully break off the leg that Ketchup had already broken off. So this thing is just basically a big rock on one hobbling leg. But it is still up. I believe that's your turn, Midnight?
Yeah.
Okay, so top of the round, Air Elemental is dead. It's going to be Ketchup's turn.
Yes, thank you.
Ketchup is going
Ketchup's
to...
gonna kill it.
Please catch up.
Ketchup is going to try to throw another knife. Ketchup almost gets a nat 1. He rolled a 2. So yeah, so he just kind of whips out another knife, throws it. It fully misses. Probably what happened is like Ketchup threw the knife as you casted Shatter, so it threw it where that other leg of the elemental should be. Ketchup wanted to kind of finish his little kneecap with it, but it just goes to the air because there's nothing there left.
Great.
Which is now the Earth Elemental's turn.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
It is going
Still
to...
Okay.
Basically, it is going to be using... Did you use Bardic Inspiration last time?
I didn't.
Okay, just curious. It is going to be using... normally it would be able to get there, but I'm having its movement. It is basically trying to go as close as it can to the Water Elemental, but you get an attack of opportunity, Terrell.
All right.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, my friend.
Oh my... Wait, hold on.
What'd you get?
I have to do math.
Very hard.
Yeah, it is very hard, yes.
Yep.
How does 12 work for you?
Oh.
12?
Yeah.
A 12 significantly misses it, even if it, in its weakest state. That's enough below it that you kind of just whiff as you go to try to punch at it. It just hobbles out of the way. As this thing gets closer and closer, it's hobbling towards it. It's almost like everything is moving in slow motion as you both know what's about to happen. As you see like the water elemental go, as like this big kind of like boulder like on a pogo stick almost is going up to it, and before it even kind of goes to hurt it, you can tell that there's something about this potassium elemental that kind of wants to hurt this water elemental, but before it can even get there and try to like swing back to make an attack, as it is swinging back, the air starts getting very, very thunderous and electric. You can just tell that they are like just going off of each other and off of each other. What's up?
Can I use my inspiration? Not my bardic inspiration, but my actual inspiration.
We'll kind of say because you didn't say it and all this has happened
true.
at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, as it gets very, very close, you start to see as this giant explosion happens in the corner of this ship, literally blows this crater-like hole in the corner that these two things were in. You can instantly feel the air rush out. A magical film that Nox puts up tries to cover it, but this hole is way too big. The film just kind of goes halfway and then retracts. It's not enough to do this. So you can feel the air get sucked out of this comet. You can feel like the everything, start to, anything small is leaving, anything bigger is going to be basically be trying to leave, whether it's if it's not strapped down. And as you kind of both feel that tug and you try to steady yourself, that's where we're going to end this episode. Hi guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and share it with all of your friends. We'll see you on the next one.